Hey my creative friends, today I am going to use the Kristy Rice Making Art for Joy paint set to paint this gorgeous, bright, expressive, crazy bouquet, and it was such an amazing, surprising journey that I took. So if you watched my previous video where I swatched it, maybe you want to watch that one first, or you can just watch this and paint along. You don't need this set to paint this painting. If you have it, then paint along. If not, just use whatever paints you have, and let's dive right into the video. If you haven't heard of Kristy Rice yet, where have you been? Do check out her YouTube channel. It is really such a great resource for inspiration, for loose florals, and she talks a lot about painting for joy's sake. So it's a wonderful, wonderful channel to really let loose and to get so much motivation to paint when you're feeling like you're in a rut. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. It would really mean a lot to me and the YouTube algorithm. With that said, let's dive right into the painting. Let's have a look at the reference photo that I'll be using today. And it's from this book called The Flower Color Theory. It's the second book after the very famous Flower Color Guide that you have to get as well. It's got these amazing bouquets that are perfect for using as reference for practicing your florals. And this one's on page 70. I just had it open on my desk and I decided to use it. And as you can see, I'm using it as a reference, but the color is going to be totally different from what I see in the book. And what I'm using it is really just for sort of okay. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to get a mix of this pink passion with a bit of fierce, and what I have is a beautiful coral color, and I'm gonna just do that first rose here, and I'm gonna make it really loose, really rough. And the whole point of this painting is to really swatch these colors to see what it can give me. So as you saw, I kind of did that rose in like 2 seconds, which is just a couple of swishes of the brush, fatter C-stroke, smaller C-stroke. So there we have that first main rose. This is going to be the hero rose. I'm going to just see how it looks when I just drop a bit of this neon yellow in there. Okay, it's spreading. It's definitely not the same as dropping in a regular yellow, and we'll see how it actually sort of dries. But so far so good. Okay, so let's go on to the other flowers, and I'm going to grab this one here, which is called Sweet, and use that for some of the tulips that I see here. So there's some really beautiful, soft, tulipy, quite closed up tulips in this reference photo, and this is so beautiful. The paint is buttery, it glides right on. It's so easy to use. And there we have our 3 tulips. I'll just leave them there. I do maybe just put in a bit of this brown. This is called Delve, and it's quite burnt umberish. And I'm just gonna create some darker lines on the tulips to just let it bleed and see how we go. Cool. All right, what color shall we use next? I thought I would try this neon pink on its own, and I want to dilute it quite a lot because I don't want it fighting too hard with the other. And then maybe just touch of that delve. Sorry, not delve, sweet in there. So we have like a little harmony going on. And I think these are hellebores. Yeah, hellebores. Oh, that is sweet. That is gorgeous. So just a couple of hellebores here and there. Diluted my brush just a little bit more to get it super light. Beautiful. Lifting up a bit of color here because I actually like how light that has gone. Really like that. And then I'm gonna go into this beautiful green gold called Grove and just touching the centers of these hellebores because I see a bit of green and I like that, really like that. All right, let's go into this punchy purple. I like how it is looking, but I'm wondering if I could just mute it down a little bit with some of this flesh colored here. Sorry, this is sweet. This is blossom. Okay, so just a bit of that flesh color, and I'm seeing these like tubular type flowers, and already I'm feeling that it was very weird and uncomfortable for me because it is a color I really don't use a lot in my florals. It's a bit too sweet, actually, if you ask me, really quite baby-ish. But I am going to just maybe get a bit of this flow into it and a bit of burnt umber. All right, and creating like a gray, okay? And then using that to just maybe mute it down a bit by creating some shadow streaks for that flower. And okay, that seems fine. All right, so getting this fierce now and maybe just dabbing and mixing it in together with that mixture there. I want to create some smaller orangey roses around. Here we go. Okay, it's not looking too different from this one here, so I'm gonna just tweak it a little bit more and bring some of that blossom in. Okay, let's see how that goes. Cool. So a bunch of the smaller roses. And you know, if you are new to floral composition, one of the tips and one of the tricks of composition is to create different sizes of flowers. Okay, so it doesn't matter what flowers you use. You want to get some big ones, some small ones to create the contrast. Even though you're looking at a reference photo and all the flowers might be the same size, you can always create that on your own. All right, so I'm gonna try this one here. Now this is called Calm, and again, it's a color I really don't use much. I'm not even sure how to describe it. It's kind of like a brownish cream, and I'm gonna use them to paint some sweet peas. I see sort of like coming off the sides of the bouquet here and here. Just place them around to create a nice balanced composition. And maybe one up here. I really like how that neutral color is lending to this bouquet that is so far looking quite pastel-y pink, like very pinky, and then that actually neutralizes it. All right, so let's see. Let's look at my palette and see what else I can add on. Feeling at this moment to start adding some of the green. So I love this green gold, and I'm gonna just put a little bit of this other green tend into it, and let's pull some stems out. Oh, how cute, very bright. I just love how this green works with this corally pink really well. Like, I am a sap green user, so I tend to use a lot of sap green, which kind of like has a very more natural look to the bouquets. So it's nice to change it up a bit to see how that goes. So I'm just grabbing more of the green gold, which is called Growth, and pulling that out. And it's lovely. I like it. Excuse me. All right. Finally, I'm going to add this blue to this mix here and putting that green gold in as well. So I'm going to create a bluish tone and maybe some burnt umber to create some of the darker, contrasting, darker leaves that I see. Very nice. And they're just coming out this way and that. So just using the brush and very simple dabs, dab, dab. Some in the middle here and here. Need to mix a little bit more of that. So flow mixed with delve, mixed with growth. More flow, more tend. Okay, and then I just need to just join them all up with a stem, a nice thin stem, as thin as you can, but sometimes it doesn't get as thin as you like, but that's totally fine. Stepping back to have a little gaze at the painting. The sun's come up, so it's looking a bit bright. That's fine, you just gotta go with the flow. All right, so as a first layer, I think it's quite sweet. I feel like I need to balance out a bit of that purple, so I'm just getting more of that punchy mixed in here. And I'm gonna create some like little filler berry like stems. That's nice. It sort of like balances out this purple here. And just a tiny bit of that green to link everything back into the bouquet. I'm gonna go in again with this neutral calm and then mix it up with a bit of green. Oh, that's actually quite nice. And just pulling a few more sort of like little green filler, like smaller what do you call them? Yeah, just small filler leaves from the middle of the bouquet. Apologies that the sun is coming in and out. I need to get like some kind of a shade for my studio. Okay, so at this point, I'm just gonna stop and let it dry, and then I'll come back and do a next layer. And we are back. I would say it's not completely dry yet, but it's dry enough for me to venture in with a nice second layer because I am feeling the groove. And when you're feeling the groove, I believe you should lean in and flow with it. So I'm grabbing my size 4. Actually, I want to find my size 6. Don't know where it is at the moment, but never mind. Let's just use my size 4 silver black velvet for now. And I'm really excited about this part because I think this painting will look really fun with some cool accents of this palette, starting with neon yellow. Okay, neon yellow. Feeling the urge to just bring it into maybe this one here, which is this little sweet pea. And just using that neon yellow to create some expressive veiny lines or shadows, whatever you want to call them. And fun, very, very cool. Okay, just don't be afraid to just mark and be loose even in the next layer. Let's put some of this blue. Okay, so just straight from the pan, I'm gonna grab that blue, and actually I'm gonna use this blue to just add some more sort of like filler by just dabbing my brush. And because the bottom layer is pretty dry, you can actually sort of like layer a little bit. Going behind. And I just love how blue is just completes, really feels like it completes a painting in its own magical way. Okay, lightening that a bit to just give it a softer feel, and just dabbing it all over. Dab, dab, dab. Okay, maybe it's gone a bit much, the blue, but never mind. Let's keep going. I will use this beautiful buttery delve color, which is like a cross between sepia and burnt umber, I think. And I'll use that to darken my roses down here. And as usual, just going around with the brush, creating those sort of like dark shadow lines that you might find in a rose. The green has really bled into this one here, which makes it a really cool effect. By the way, I'm using, the paper I'm using is, I can't remember the name now. I'll put it in the link in the description below, but it's 100% cotton. And now I'm going into this punchy, as is, just as is, and I'm gonna outline these hellebores with some punchy purple. Just similarly the way I create lines for the sweet peas. You can try to soften that a little bit and make it less intense, and just, actually it gets quite nice. So just add some water after you dip into the paint, brush it off, and see how that works for you if it's wanting a less intensity hue. Okay, for some of you might find that this is a bit much already, like where is the balance, where is the compositions, going everywhere here and there, and you can pull back at any time. But you see, that's the whole point about, the whole point of experimenting and play is to push something, and then you making a decision to sort of discern whether that worked or not worked, and then you can alter the next time you paint. It's great to listen to, you know, experience and more expert advice on how to do things and follow step by step and try to get something perfect every time. But I think the best way to learn is to make the mistakes yourself, and then step back and then, you know, assess what you like and dislike about the painting. And yeah, do a combination of all of those things. Experimentation is so key, so key. So right now I'm feeling like my marks are really a bit crazy, and the lines are just not really blending very well into the painting. That's why, like you see me doing this, I am creating like softer, wider strokes for this flower here. Hopefully that will be a nice contrast to the others that are a little bit like scattered, you know. All right, and then I'm gonna go into neon pink now, which is passion, and using that for these trumpety flowers. Just going in line with, like, let's use all the colors in Kristy Rice Art for Joy palette. Yeah, let's use all of it. Now, this might not be the way that I paint all the time. I won't sort of like obviously make a point to use every single color of a palette, but I think it's just fun to play and to sort of see what is possible. All right now I'm feeling like maybe some bigger leaves in the background would give everything a nice balance. So I'm gonna go in with my bigger brush here, size 16 round, and creating a wettish pool of that green gold. And I'm going to just sweep to pull out these nice, very soft, dreamy, fat leaves from the middle of my painting, because I'm just feeling that everything feels a little bit scattered. So another thing that you might want to not do is make sure you don't like make everything too symmetrical. So see, I put one leaf here, I put one leaf here, I put one leaf there. It feels almost like, oh my god, I'm creating frames for it. So yeah, as you grow as an artist and you learn more about composition and stuff, as I have, you just learn how to not do that. Right now, I'm realizing that maybe instead, I'm just going to create a nice back green wash here with all the different greens I can find on the palette, and let's see how that goes. Okay, at this point I'm like, okay, this could be a complete disaster, a super hot mess, and I'm not even sure if I'm gonna post this video, but we'll see. We will see. Also, I'm not sure when I will be posting this video, but as of now, I have been in this craze of putting backgrounds to my paintings. A lot of my old paintings that don't have a background, you know, we just paint the bouquet on white paper, and I've been just feeling the urge to just add like a really nice, simple background in a light or dark wash wash such as this. And it's been very, very relaxing and therapeutic, because when you put down a background wash, you don't have to be so focused and analytic and analyze what you have to do, and you just gotta be careful, I suppose. And you can be as careful or as careless as you like. That's the magic of loose painting. See, I can leave lots of white gaps here and there. And then from here, I think what I'm going to do is just going to drop in some of that darker green to some parts of the background here. See how that looks. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Well, actually, it's kind of cool. It's giving off like a nice sort of glowy effect. Oh gosh, okay, I'm just stepping back now to have a quick glance of it from the screen, and I freaking love it. I am loving it. I just love the explosion of color. I love how it definitely has that Kristy Rice feeling. You know, if you watch her videos and you've seen her paintings, and I'm inspired now to just drop a bit more of that yellow neon into the background while it's still wet, because yeah, I think that's a nice touch to sort of like giving a nod to these as well. Yeah, and I think I'm just gonna leave it as is. And who knows, I might come back to work on it a little bit more, but you know what? I think it is so cool and fun. I'm loving it. I love this palette. do get it. I have put a link in the description below to where you can get it on Amazon. It's a great palette. She's got amazing YouTube channel and so much to love about the way she approaches art and painting. But in any case, this is it. This is the bouquet painted from Kristy Rice Art for Joy 6 palette. And there you have it, the very surprising painting that emerged from the Kristy Rice paint set. My takeaway from this whole exercise is to not be so locked into your own habits and your own paints and the things that you always like and comfortable using, but to venture out and try different colors, try something new. If you like my approach to loose floral, do sign up for my mailing list below. I have a free PDF called 9 Secrets to Loose Florals, a little ebook that I give away. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Find me on Instagram, tag me on your painting if you actually followed along, and I'll see you in the next video.